evening. My name is Angelica. I'm the chair of the Stratford Board of Education. I'd like to call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Ed to order at 7:16 on Monday, May 23rd, 2022. We do have a quorum. We're so excited to celebrate everybody here tonight. But before we get going, Mrs. Wiltie will lead us in the invocation and pledge.
Thank you. Please stand. We beseech you, Almighty God, to bless this meeting of the Board of Education, so guide and rule over our hearts and minds, that all our deliberations and decisions may be in accordance with your will, and lead to the advancement and welfare of the community of Stratford, for whom we serve. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. I'd like to please take a moment of silence and honor and memory of James Jimmy McGrath. Thank you very much.
We'll start tonight with our student representative reports, and starting us off will be Rayhan from Stratford High. I'm sorry.
No.
Oh my gosh, from Bunnell. How could I?
It's okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rayhan Nagedu, and it is a pleasure to be addressing you this evening. We are excited to announce that our very own Mr. Jim Miller has been named the 2023 Stratford Teacher of the Year. Last Wednesday, the Teacher of the Year Committee surprised Mr. Miller at the spring concert to announce this amazing recognition. Thank you, Mr. Miller, for your 36 years of service to Bunnell High School. We also look forward to more celebrations in the upcoming months. Look for the Bunnell Stratford Marching Band on Main Street at the Memorial Day Parade. In addition to this, the Color Guard and Drumline have also begun preparation for the Fall 2022 competitive marching band season. The BHS Math Department is excited about the impending visit to Sikorsky and having students involved in the daily impact of math within the departments of Sikorsky and beyond. The Audubon Society is sponsoring a field trip for all students that took part in the environmental biology classes for the school year. Students will strengthen their real-world understanding of environmental biology while strengthening community relationships by participating in activities such as planting, a touch tank, and a scavenger hunt. Harbor Watch, which is a nonprofit water quality research and education program, worked with our students on a project about water quality and the environment. Students learned about water quality issues related to sewage pollution and eutrophication in and around Fairfield County and Long Island Sound. Tomorrow afternoon, physics teacher Ms. Kristen Record will be participating in a virtual roundtable discussion with Deputy Secretary of Education Cindy Martin and her team at the U.S. Department of Education. The discussion will focus on what young people and those who advocate for them believe the federal government should do to elevate whole child learning and development in our education systems. The Science Department will also be inducting 18 students into the Science National Honor Society this week. In order to be eligible, students have earned 1 credit in an honor level or higher course in a science discipline, and then have taken an additional advanced placement course in the same science discipline, all while earning a B or higher in all science courses. This ceremony will also be held with the Mu Alpha Theta Math Honor Society. The Bunnell CTE Department is hosting the Career and Technology Education Career Pathways Showcase at 6:30 on Tuesday, May 24th. The showcase will display learning, skill, and fun in the CTE areas. Disciplines will include business management administration, marketing, STEM, education and training, hospitality and tourism, and information technology. The Women's Empowerment Club took part in a 3-day virtual workshop with the Connecticut Women's Hall of Fame in New Haven called Finance FEMS. The workshop focused on women's history, financial literacy, and financial history presented by prominent businesswomen and women in STEM. The Women's Empowerment Club also took part in the CAS-CIAC Women in Leadership Conference on May 10th. The conference focused on how dynamic individual leadership builds community and shared purpose and contributes to the positive personal growth and change in our school and communities. Interact Club volunteered with the Stratford Library on May 11th and 14th, labeling over 1,600 dictionaries and thesauruses prior to the distribution for 5th and 6th graders. Interact Club and Bulldogs in Training are volunteering to help out with the Second Hill Lane Field Day on May 26th. Students in our Conversations and Race classes are hosting an in-house field trip with Stratford High and Newtown High on May 24th. Students will be participating in ice-breaking and community-building activities and conversations. The partnership serves as a bridge between our two communities and helps to reinforce concepts such as diversity, citizenship, broadening perspective, and building friendships. Thank you, Bunnell teacher Mrs. Jennifer Bosquez, Stratford High's Mr. Mike Lapia, and Newtown High's Mrs. Debbie Deeb. On June 9th, students and teachers from Bunnell and Stratford High will share their work and experiences in the new African American / Black and Puerto Rican and Latino course of studies. We want to thank Bunnell teachers Mr. Dave Jocko, Mr. Sean Mignon, and Mr. Devin Moore, and Stratford High's Ms. Kathy Mack for all of their hard work, courage, and commitment to the excellence as they piloted and implemented the state's module of curriculum this year. We're also looking forward to hearing students read original works during the return of the annual All Things Words Writing Festival on May 26th. All are welcome to join us. The ELA teachers are also looking forward to using the newly approved culturally relevant novels as mentor texts to celebrate and embrace Stratford's diverse population. A text select committee comprised of 6 teachers from the 2 high schools and department heads, Mrs. Kristen Hardy, and Mrs. Elizabeth Bujarli, spent several months reading and collecting student voices to support the initiative. Thank you, Bunnell teachers Mr. Anthony Fiore, Mrs. Erica Corian, Ms. Allison Miller, and Stratford High teachers Mr. Richard Cass, Mr. Michael Foriello, and Ms. Kelly Lynch. And the class of 22 at Bunnell held a very successful prom on Friday, May 6th at the Villa Bianca in Seymour. The theme was a masquerade, and we had over 280 students in attendance. The class voted myself and Ashley Rivera as prom king and queen, respectively. We want to thank the class advisor, Mrs. Kristen. We want to thank our class advisor, Ms. Kristen Record, and class officers Angela Montez, Tiana Gregg, and Fiona Greaves for all of their hard work and dedication to making this a memorable event for the senior class. On May 12th, the athletics department recognized over 65 student athletes for their contributions and achievements in high school. Roy Williams and Zach Sarita were inducted to the Bunnell Hall of Fame. Later next week, we also intend to celebrate the commitments of 3 student athletes: Adam Swinsky for soccer, Brendan Toscano for wrestling, and JoJo Cruz for track, who have committed to participating in collegiate athletics at their respective schools. Alex Busicourt and Dana Urban will be recognized as the June Athletes of the Month for outdoor track. And finally, for a second year in a row, Bunnell has once again achieved status as the 2022 U.S. News and World Report Best High School, ranking in the top 40% of schools in the state of Connecticut. This ranking includes data from more than 20,000 public schools in the 50 states and the District of Columbia. This acknowledgement highlights our outstanding work and commitment to academic excellence. We look forward to using this data to drive our instructional vision for the 2022-23 school year. Thank you.
From Bunnell, my apologies again. Next up, Rebecca from Stratford High.
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here. On Friday, May 2nd, a team of SHS students attended the STEM Challenge Day sponsored by Sikorsky and held at University of New Haven. The SHS team entered the day tied for 3rd place among schools competing. This challenge was a accumulation of a full-year project where each team had to develop a device that would automatically select a suitable landing site on Mars. The device must deploy fragile cargo and land safely. Ironically, engineers at Sikorsky are currently working on the same project. After their final presentation and product demonstration theory, were awarded 1st place at the day's events and were grand champions for the 2021 to 2022 school year. On May 11th, Stratford High held their annual Hall of Fame and Senior Recognition Banquet at Bazzano's Four Seasons. This was the first time it had been held in 2 years. 2 new members were inducted to the Stratford High Hall of Fame, including Justin Santo from the class of 1998 and Tim Martin, class of 2008. In addition, the Distinguished Service Award was given to Lucien Zeffario, and the Community Spirit and Service Award was awarded to Roy Williams. In addition to all seniors receiving recognition, all state awards were also awarded to Amanda Brodowitz, Connor Sixto, and Jaquan Kirkland. On May 12th, Stratford High held the Day of Hope and Healing. Stratford High School was honored to host guest Gordon Nguyen, a survivor of the horrific events that unfolded on 9/11/2001. Mr. Hui was presented with the framed piece of artwork created by SHS students Jovan Colbert and Zion Alvarez. Mr. Hui was so moved that he told the students that he was going to hand deliver this American flag piece to the 9/11 Museum in NYC for permanent display. AP testing is complete at SHS. 276 exams were administered in 15 subject areas. A special thank you to the SHS school counselors for all of their hard work with proctoring the exams. Our jazz band, concert band, chorus, and orchestra held their spring concerts on May 10th and 17th. A variety of outstanding pieces were performed with students preparing for months for these concerts. These performances were absolutely amazing. In conjunction with the band concert on May 10th, the SHS Art Department held their spring art show. As you can see, the talents of SHS students have been on display. Speaking of our SHS musicians, we just learned that our Jazz Band A won the 2021 to 2022 National Festival. Because of the pandemic, schools were asked to record their performances and send the recording in. After scoring all submissions, SHS was named the winner. Also, last Friday, the same Jazz Band A earned a superior rating at the Peak Performance Festival held at the Hartford Theater for the Arts. The concert choir, string ensemble, and concert band also earned ratings of excellent. Congratulations to Dr. Ryan, Mr. Linen, and Ms. Corcoran, and all of the SHS performers on these amazing accomplishments. Stratford High School had 5 students selected, and their artwork is currently being displayed in the 2022 Regional High School Art Exhibit at Housatonic Community College. 6 high schools have their artwork displayed, so SHS is in some great company. Our Drama Society is honored to receive 18 Halo Award nominations for their performances of The Mousetrap and the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee this year. The Halo Award ceremony will be held on June 1st at the Palace Theater in Waterbury. Good luck to all SHS nominees. And today was the induction ceremonies for our National, Art, Science, and Technical Honor Societies. In all, there were 121 students inducted into these prestigious groups. Congratulations to all. And on a personal note, I would like to say thank you for this opportunity that you have provided me to present.
And we would like to say thank you so much for your reports all year. You guys keep us up to date. It's a highlight of every meeting, and we wish you a happy summer and best of luck in your adventures next year. Oh, I'm sorry. And I still have the meeting. All right. Sorry, guys. Moving on. Next up, we have our presentations tonight, so I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Sunday.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everybody. So I do have to be open and honest that this is one of my favorite meetings of the year. I had the chance to watch this meeting last year from the other side of the screen, and I saw some profound recognitions, and I was really impressed with the students and staff who were being recognized last year, so I'm happy that we can do this in person this year. We will start with the CABE Awards, which is the Connecticut Association for Boards of Education Student Leadership Awards. And when I read some of the attributes and characteristics that go into this, you'll start to get a better sense of how unique this is and how much of a standout you have to be to get selected for this. So the CABE Awards looks at attributes that are centered on a willingness to take on challenges, capability to make difficult decisions, concern for others, ability to work with others, a willingness to commit to a project, the attribute of diplomacy, the ability to understand issues clearly, and the ability to honor a commitment. From each of our secondary schools at Flood, Worcester, Bunnell, and Stratford High School, we will have students who will be recognized this evening. So I would like to begin with Flood Middle School by calling up school leader, Greg Regas.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the board, Dr. Sunday, Dr. Gaeta, for the opportunity to present 2 pretty amazing Flood students to you tonight. First is Carson Clark. Carson, where are you, bud? There he is. Joining Carson tonight are his parents, Debbie and Ormond. Thank you for coming hang out with us tonight. Carson, come on up, bud. So at Flood Middle School, Carson excels academically, is an exemplar student, is exemplar for students to follow in class and in the school community. Character is of great importance to Carson. In his essay for the National Junior Honor Society, he states, "The way someone acts does not define who they truly are, but the character of the way they express themselves, showing the infinite possibilities of leadership, citizenship, and service they provide." He is also a young man of faith and continuously strives to emulate the principles of his Christian conviction. As an avid athlete, Carson played baseball for the Trumbull Technique Tigers, basketball for both Sterling House and the Flood Middle School teams. He plans to pursue both sports as he moves on to Bunnell High School. He has strong leadership skills and motivates his peers to excel in their own ways. Carson possesses a growth mindset. His belief is that figuring out how to solve a problem and overcoming past problems will allow him to do well in all of his future endeavors. His commitment to understanding is evident through his self-advocacy, curiosity, and grit.
Mr. Breeders, I think we're going to do a quick photo op with the family, if that's okay.
Come on up, Mr. and Mrs. Clark. Our second student that we're honoring tonight is Matilda Tote. Come on up, Matilda. Matilda Tote is a dedicated, socially conscious young woman. As an avid athlete, Matilda consistently gives her time and attention to others. As a gifted skater, Matilda volunteers her time 4 days a week at the rinks in Shelton to assist young skaters in the Learn to Skate and snowplow programs. That was a mouthful. Additionally, Matilda fundraises for the Rinkettes in Shelton. Matilda also participates in fundraising opportunities for cheer and football through Stratford Pop Warner. You can find her moving equipment, cleaning up after performances, and selling baked treats to support the Bunnell and Stratford marching bands. And her philanthropic heart does not stop there. Matilda also participates in organized walks to help fundraise for Angel Men Syndrome. As a student, her excitement is contagious. Throughout all educational adjustments she has had to endure over the past 2 years, Matilda greets each new challenge with extraordinary resilience. When students demonstrated resistance to presenting on Google Meets, Matilda offered to be the trailblazer. She facilitated discussions during breakout rooms, and when breakout rooms were still new and scary to everyone. Throughout in-person learning, Matilda has taken a leadership role in most cooperative experiences. She enthusiastically leads her fellow classmates to achieve their own personal successes each day. Often, one can witness Matilda as she encourages classmates with praise and humor through a challenging assignment. Her persistent devotion to her peers' education is always evident in the way she facilitates group discussions, offers helpful suggestions to those learners who are struggling. Matilda also offers her own time during our period 8 to peer mentor specific students with academic challenges. Students report that working with Matilda was super helpful, and now I understand. She's an exceptional student whose empathy, dedication, enthusiasm, and diplomacy continue to inspire those around her. I present to you Matilda Tote. You're not getting out of the photo op, don't worry.
Congratulations to Flood Middle School. And at this time, I'd like to call up Worcester Middle School. leader, Mr. Jim Singletary.
Thank you, Dr. Sunday, members of the board, Dr. Gaeta. Again, I concur with my colleague. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity tonight to present some wonderful students from Worcester Middle School. We have 2 CABE awardees tonight. The first one I'd like to ask to join us this evening is Miss Annie Rosen. Annie is joined tonight by her mom Amanda and father Mike. We are proud to announce her as one of our 2022 CABE Award winners. Annie is a kind, respectful, and motivated young lady who has shown consistent effort and motivation during her 2 years at Worcester. A role model to her peers, her attitude is always positive and respectful. When asked what drives her, Annie says, "What I do now matters for my future." Not only is Annie very engaged in her academic life, she is involved in her community as well. She volunteers every weekend at local horse stables where in the past she has served as a camp counselor during the summer. She also volunteers with the James Vick Foundation, a nonprofit organization that offers free sports programs locally by assisting with setup and cleanup during lacrosse games. And Annie has also assisted at a holiday breakfast with her church and has been involved with several local beach cleanups. Annie is an asset to both our school and local community. It is her commitment to her personal growth and to her community that make her an exemplary recipient of the Connecticut Association of Boards of Education Award. Congratulations, Annie. And of course, her sister as well. Worcester's second awardee tonight is Miss Margaret or Maggie LaRue. Please come on up. There we go. Maggie is joined tonight, first of all, by her mother Tara and her father Jeffrey. She is highly motivated, kind, and responsible, who consistently goes above and beyond the expectations of an 8th grade student. Not only is Maggie a hard-working and dedicated student with an exemplary academic record, she is also a compassionate, caring, and respectful young lady. She has a tremendous work ethic and strives to do her very best. Her teachers indicate that she gives 150% effort in everything she does. She sets high standards for herself, while at the same time, she offers help and support to other students. Her peers respect and admire Maggie. In addition to her strong academic record, Maggie is an active volunteer in the community. She volunteers extensively through her church, where she is involved in a variety of service projects. She is the youth coordinator for a local soup kitchen, as well as an altar server. Maggie has also volunteered with the Stratford Rec Department and with Sterling House, assisting with youth sports programs and camps. It is Maggie's commitment to both her school and community, her strong work ethic, and her ability to serve as a role model for others that make her an exemplary recipient of the Connecticut Associations of Boards of Education Awards. Congratulations. Congratulations to you both again.
Thank you, Mr. Singletary. And to present for Bunnell High School, Dr. Katie Graff.
It's wonderful to see so many familiar smiling faces. At this time, I'd like to call up our first CAVE recipient, Ms. Stephanie Cunningham. Stephanie is joined with us this evening by her mother Gemma and father John. Stephanie Cunningham has been in the Stratford Public School System since elementary school and ranks among the top of the Bunnell High School class of 2022. Stephanie is an outstanding student who has demonstrated excellence in both the classroom and community. She has achieved an impressive 4.05 GPA and a class rank 10 out of 280 students. Stephanie's work ethic, leadership ability, and willingness to give back to others is second to none. She has earned high marks throughout her high school career while carrying a full, rigorous course load, earning early college experience credit in 7 courses. Stephanie is a member of both the National Math Honor Society and the National Honor Society. For her dedication to scholarship, leadership, and community, Stephanie was recently recognized with a prestigious National Honor Society scholarship. Furthermore, she was recognized by the College Board as an AP Scholar. Stephanie has been involved in a number of extracurricular activities and organizations at Bunnell, which include the Superintendents Advisory Committee, Bunnell Select Choir, and Link Crew. In addition to being involved in school activities, Stephanie is an active member of the greater Stratford community as well. Stephanie's desire for teaching has only been intensified as she volunteer tutoring students at Eli Whitney Elementary School. In addition to serving as the Bunnell High School representative to the Stratford Youth Partnership Program, she also works with youth at the Stratford Rec Department. Stephanie continues to devote many hours to her faith through her church as an active voice in the Youth Women's Church Leadership Program, in addition to assisting with Sunday school lessons for the children in her congregation. Stephanie is a natural-born leader and teacher. She has already established herself as one who teaches, mentors, and nurtures our students. Stephanie was accepted to Brigham Young Idaho campus, Quinnipiac, Eastern Connecticut State University, and Southern Virginia University. Stephanie will be furthering her education this fall at Brigham Young University in Utah, where she will be studying elementary education. In her scholarship essay, Stephanie quotes Russell Nelson, "Education is the difference between wishing you can help people and being able to help them." In so many ways, Stephanie has already begun her journey of helping others. Her personal attributes and academic accomplishments epitomize what it means to be a Bunnell Bulldog. Congratulations, Stephanie. Would Stephanie's parents please come to the podium for photo op? Our second CAVE recipient is someone who you all know well. You've gotten to know him very well this school year, our very own Mr. Rayhan T. Nagadu, aka BHS Prom King. Rayhan is joined to us by one of my favorite parents of all time, Miss Shay Nagadu. Give us a wave from back there. Rayhan T. Nagadu is the son of Shay Nagadu and ranks among the top of the Bunnell High School class of 2022 based upon 4 years of outstanding academic scholarship, his passion for working with others, and acute leadership. In the academic setting, Rayhan has distinguished himself as a member of the National Honor Society, National Math Honor Society, and the National Science Honor Society, and was awarded the 2021 Rensselaer Mathematics and Science Medal. Rayhan was also selected as a member of the 2021 UConn Summer Lead Program and was recently named recipient of the prestigious University of Connecticut Day of Pride Scholarship. He has achieved an impressive 4.16 GPA and a class rank of 7 out of 280. Rayhan has taken 8 AP courses at Bunnell, and he was recognized as an AP Scholar by the College Board. Rayhan has been accepted at the following colleges and universities: the University of Connecticut, Cornell, Rensselaer Polytech Institute, Trinity College, Quinnipiac University, University of Hartford, and Yale University. He will attend Yale University in the fall, majoring in engineering. In addition to his many academic accomplishments, Rayhan is the school's representative to the Stratford Board of Education, where his monthly reports to the board, school officials, and general public are often referred to as the highlights of our monthly meetings. At Bunnell, Rayhan holds the office of the president of Bunnell High School Marching Band, trumpet section leader, and is an active member of the Empower Peer Review Board and Men of Color Leadership Group. And he is a Link Crew ambassador, assisting freshmen and new students with the transition to Bunnell. Lastly, Rayhan can be found at any number of athletic and extracurricular events, poised with a camera and ready to capture the brightest moments on behalf of his peers in the Bunnell community as the editor to the Bunnell Laurel, our yearbook. Rayhan's dedication and commitment to Bunnell High School will leave a lasting impression for years to come. Congratulations, Rayhan. Mama, come on up for a picture.
Thank you, Dr. Graff. And to recognize our Stratford High School honorees, Principal Jack Dalpiano.
Thank you, Dr. Sunday, and the Board of Education for this opportunity tonight. At this point, I'd like to call up our first 2022 CABE Award winner. Yasmin, come on up here with me, please. Yasmin Sekunle is the daughter of Rafu and Bola Sekunle. Yasmin is a junior at Stratford High School, and she is currently ranked #1 in the junior class. During her time Throughout her first 3 years at Stratford High School, Yasmin has demonstrated outstanding work ethic and has consistently made first honors while taking a course load that has included so far 7 advanced placement courses and 10 honors level classes. Yasmin is an active member of our National Honor Society and our Math National Honor Society. Beyond her core academics, Yasmin has demonstrated an interest in learning about the medical field. As a freshman, she enrolled in our Health and Medical Career Pathway. In correlation with this, Yasmin has just been elected as the president-elect for HOSA, which is Health Occupation Students of America, for the 22-23 school year. So congratulations. Aside from her academics, Yasmin has been involved with many extracurricular activities. She's a member of American Sign Language Club at Stratford High School for the past 2 years. She's also an active member of our Litwits Book Club. Additionally, Yasmin competes on the Stratford High School math team. Not only does this demonstrate Yasmin's desire to be involved in school, but they are also evidence of her maturity and leadership skills. Beyond her school involvement, Yasmin has also found time to volunteer within the community. She stays after school regularly to volunteer as a peer tutor for students who need extra help. She also has been a Stratford Library volunteer and has taken the time to do the same for the Stratford Partnership for Youth and Families Organizations, as well as the African American History Museum in Stratford.
Not only is this further evidence of her incredible work ethic, but it's also indicative of her desire to give back to the community. Yasmin is an asset to both Stratford High School and the greater Stratford community. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me congratulate Yasmin on her accomplishments and her 2022 CAVE Award. This time I ask that Alex Nguyen please come join me at the podium. Alex Nguyen is the son of Nan and Son. Alex is a junior at Stratford High School, and he is currently ranked number 2 in the junior class. Alex has demonstrated a commitment to learning as evidenced by his challenging schedule. During his first 3 years, he has taken 8 honors level courses and 7 advanced placement courses. Alex is detail-oriented, well-organized, and determined to be successful in all areas of his life. Alex's academic achievements have earned him awards such as the Excellence in Introduction to Allied Health, a Service Award in recognition of his efforts with HOSA, Excellence in Pre-Calculus, Student Academic Recognition Award for AP Chemistry, Excellence in Human Biology as well. Additionally, Alex was awarded the Connecticut Association of Schools Scholar Leader Award and the President's Award for Educational Excellence. Alex is a true leader at Stratford High School, where he uses his personal attributes to inspire and shape others. Alex is the junior class president, member of HOSA, a member of our Inspire Ed, is an Inspire Ed coach. He's a drum major for our band, Change by Teens treasurer, and serves on the band council. Alex also participates on our math team and our marching band, in the ACE mentoring program, our Be Kind Club, the Science National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, which is our Math Honor Society, Jazz Band A, congratulations by the way, Jazz Band B, and our Wind and Sound. As you can see, Alex's commitment to personal growth and being his best self extends far beyond the classroom. Alex's leadership skills and commitment to the betterment of our community continue to shine outside of school. Alex completed an internship at the Milford Vascular Institute, where he examined ultrasounds of various arteries and veins, including the carotid and aortic arteries. His volunteering also includes time with the Stratford Rec Department, the Stratford Arts and Cultural Festival, where he serves, and he also serves as a tutor to students in Stratford. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me honor the well-deserved recipient of the 2022 CAVE Award for Stratford High School, Alex Nguyen.
Pretty impressive. Another round of applause for our recipients. I'm going to take a quick moment to recognize 4 students who were also recognized earlier this month right outside in the atrium through the BEST program. Yasmin Sukunle, please come up. Gwyneth Australia. She's not here? Okay. Elizabeth Llewellyn and Jocelyn Sayadi. I'm not certain he is here, but this is something we're very, very proud of as a district and as a community. Earlier in April, Mr. Rafi Terry, assistant principal at Eli Whitney Elementary School, was recognized statewide for being the assistant principal of the year by the Connecticut PTA Association. So please put your hands together for Mr. Rafi Terry. We have a whole plant here for him. He's not here, all right? For those of you who know Mr. Terry, you know that he is just somebody who is really a living embodiment of what it means to engage families. So we're very proud of this honor, and we're also happy that he was able to have his very own Rafi Terry Day at Eli Whitney. You all remember that, for those of you, right? Very deserving, and when you see him, please make sure you extend our congratulations, all right? Quickly, you've probably heard a good deal about these two individuals. It's been very, very impressive to watch these two individuals grow over the last year. I had a chance to meet them when I joined the district last year, but our Board of Education reps. So at this time, I'd like to call up here Mr. Rayhan Nagadu and Ms. Rebecca DePietro. Those two individuals right there are people that we refer to as world shakers and world changers. And we're excited to see what you do as you leave the Stratford community. At this time, I would like to call up Dr. Katie Graff, who will recognize this year's valedictorian and salutatorian, beginning with the salutatorian.
Good evening again. May I please call to the podium Ms. Angelica Laschik. Bunnell High School is pleased to announce that Angelica Laschik has been named Bunnell High School salutatorian for the class of 2022. Angelica is joined to us this evening by mom, Renata, and sister, Jessica, twin sister, Jessica. Angelica is the daughter of Renata Laschik with a cumulative GPA of 4.28. This remarkable young woman has earned 22 college credits from the UConn ECE program. Throughout her high school career, Angelica has taken 10 advanced placement courses. Recently, she was recognized as an AP Scholar with distinction, meaning that her average AP score was 3 or higher on at least 5 advanced placement exams. Angelica was the recipient of the Yale Junior Book Award and has been recognized for academic excellence in various courses throughout her career at Bunnell. She is a valuable member of the National Honor Society, the National Math Honor Society, and the National Science Honor Society. Angelica is an integral member of the environmentally driven skating program and the Bunnell French Club. She continues to share her enthusiastic passion for math as a tutor to elementary students at Eli Whitney Elementary School. She's a very active member of her church youth group at St. Michael's in Stratford, where she assists in making and preparing meals for a homeless shelter in Bridgeport and with organizing church fairs and events. Angelica has also devoted a great deal of her time attending Polish school on the weekends and has demonstrated academic excellence in her studies of the Polish language, culture, and history of the region. Bunnell High School applauds the hard work, dedication to academic excellence from this wonderful, standout young lady. Angelica plans to attend the University of Connecticut Honors Program in the fall, where she plans to major in actuarial science. Congratulations, Angelica. Mom and Jessica, would you like to come to the podium, please? I am pleased to present our valedictorian, the class of 2022, Mr. Michael Perry. Please come to the podium. It is with great pride that I announce Mr. Michael Perry as the Bunnell High School valedictorian for the class of 2022. Michael is the son of James Perry and Brooke Wachtel. Michael is an exceptional student who has demonstrated excellence in both the classroom and the community. Academically, he has earned the prestigious honor of ranking #1 in his class and has achieved a cumulative GPA of 4.26. while taking 8 honors and 13 AP ECE courses, which will allow him to earn 26 UConn ECE college credits heading into his freshman year. Michael is the president of the National Honor Society, the treasurer of the Spanish Honor Society, and a member of both National Science and Math Honor Societies. Michael has also been recognized as a National Merit Scholar for his outstanding performance on the PSAT, as well as an AP Scholar with distinction for his exceptional scores on the AP exams. Additionally, he has earned the Harvard Book Award, the University of Rochester Bosch and Lum Honorary Science Award, and he placed first in the New England Math League and American Mathematics competitions. In addition, he and a fellow classmate placed first in the 2021 Connecticut DECA State Career Development Conference for their Project Management Business Solution Project. During his high school career, Michael was a 3-year member of the Bunnell varsity soccer team, serving as captain in his senior year. He also competed on the cross-country, indoor, and outdoor track teams. Recently, Michael was honored as the CIAC Scholar Athlete. We just celebrated him at the AquaTurf this past Sunday. Beyond the athletic field, Michael is the FBLA Vice President and member of the Future Business Leaders of America and an active member of DECA and the Bunnell Link Crew. Out in the community, Michael has volunteered as a counselor for the Stratford Recreation Department as a camp counselor and currently on the Stratford Partnership for Youth and Families and Stratford's Portrait of a Graduate. Michael has also served as a student representative on the Connecticut State Student Advisory Council on Education. Michael's outstanding leadership, character, scholarship, record of service, and civic commitment exemplifies what is best and brightest in the young people of our Bunnell community. Michael's academic interests include mathematics, science, and business, and he plans to attend Carnegie Mellon University to major in actuarial science this fall. Congratulations, Michael. And Mom, would you please join us at the podium?
I think the best part for me is seeing all the families just beaming with pride and happiness. Again, congratulations to those 2 individuals from Bunnell. At this time, I'm going to call up Principal Jack Delpiano to recognize the valedictorian and salutatorian for Stratford High School.
Thank you, Dr. Sunday, and I echo Dr. Sunday's sentiments. Congratulations to all the award winners tonight. It's truly an honor to be in the same room with you. You guys are a testament to the Stratford Public Schools and to your family, so we appreciate you every day. At this time, I'd like to call Haley Ivanko up to the podium with me. Ladies and gentlemen, as she walks out, let's give a nice round of applause for our 2022 salutatorian, Haley Ivanko. Haley is the daughter of William and Ellen Ivanko and sister to Ashley, who's here with us tonight. It's also an honor to say that Haley has spent her 13 years in school at Stratford. Haley's a kind, warm-hearted, respectful, and extremely determined student who continues to master course content and has earned a 4.19 GPA. Equally important is that Haley's been a positive presence in our school for the past 4 years. Haley's efforts and diligence in the classroom are showcased through her hard work, dedication, and commitment to doing the best she can. She has an extremely challenging course load, and throughout her career she has taken 12 honors level courses and 9 advanced placement courses. To her testament, she's earned no grade lower than an A- in her 4 years at Stratford High School. Through this time, as you can imagine, she has many academic awards and honors. She received first honors every year: the J.S. Lim Foundation Scholarship, Science Achievement Award, the Brown University Book Award, and the Scholastic Awards for Excellence in AP Physics, U.S. Government, French 3 and 4 honors, Design, and Chemistry. Haley's school community engagement has also added to the layers of positivity she brings to Stratford High School. She is the president of our orchestra, co-president of the National Art Honor Society, is an integral team member of our National Honor Society, National Math Honor Society, Girls Varsity Tennis Team, Stage Crew, Link Crew, and our math team. Haley has also contributed to many community efforts using her artistic abilities. She was selected by the Stratford Arts Commission to participate in Stratford street sculpture titled Around the Table. For those who don't know, those are those pub tables and chairs that have been spread around town about a year and a half ago. She also helped with the traffic control box program, where these box stations were painted and designed to add vibrance and culture to the area. This helped promote downtown Stratford as a regional tourist destination through enhancing the area with quality sculptural exhibit and to foster art appreciation in our community. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to say that Haley is going to attend UConn next year and major in chemistry. Let's have a nice round of applause for 2022. Congratulations, Haley. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have an equally thunderous loud applause for Nguyen as he makes his way up here. Nguyen is the child of Lap and Min Nguyen. Nguyen has spent all 13 years in the Stratford Public Schools and is creative, focused, and as self-motivated as they come. This student has demonstrated exceptional mastery in every course he has taken. Earned a 4.26 GPA through the 4 years at Stratford High School. Leon is a positive and kind person who is outgoing, understanding, and embracing to all. Leon has consistently shown growth, been a motivating factor for all, and has a strong desire to succeed. Leon's commitment to excellence as evident by their willingness to challenge the status quo academically. Throughout Leon's high school career, they have taken and excelled in 9 honors level courses and 12 advanced placement courses. Even with this challenging schedule, no grade lower than A- was ever earned by Leon. Leon is a leader in all aspects of life. Leon is a student facilitator with the Stratford High School math team, a member of our Math National Honor Society, our National Honor Society, our Science National Honor Society, the Stratford High School Debate Club, a section leader and drum major in the Stratford High School Band, secretary for the band council, plays the piano in Jazz Band A, the pit orchestra, and Leon is also a percussionist in the wind ensemble. Quite amazing. Additionally, Leon has served as the secretary of the class council, served as an Inspire Ed coach, and was the founder and president of the Stratford High School Asian American Student Association. Leon has been recognized as a scholar leader by the Connecticut Association of Schools, and in 2019, Leon won an award for Outstanding Student Accompanist through the Walt Disney Music Festival. Congratulations. I actually had Doc Ryan tell me that Leon is the most gifted and talented musician he's ever seen in his years in music. So that's a testament to you, because he's seen a lot of musicians. Leon's leadership skills and commitment to the betterment of the community continue to shine outside of school, where Leon volunteers at St. James Church Teen Ministry and the Stratford Library. And finally, Leon was recognized as a finalist in the National Merit Scholarship Program for their performance on the 2021 SAT with an almost perfect score. There's something in the air tonight, but Leon will attend UConn and study data science and math. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to present to you the class of 2022 valedictorian for Stratford High School, Leon Nguyen.
Again, congratulations to all of our scholars. I do have to say, just being around these amazing individuals makes me want to go back to high school and do everything completely different than what I did, right? It's with pleasure that I call up our Stratford Education Association leaders to lead us through the SEA recognitions, Mr. Michael Fiorello, Ms. Robin Julian, and Ms. Kristen Rickard.
Good evening. My name is Jen Blake, and I'm here to recognize the SEA retirements for this school year. Before I do so, I would like to congratulate all of tonight's winners. Very impressive job. And to add on to what Mr. Delapiano said, I do think it's also a testament to the educators in the room and in our district. So, good evening, Dr. Sunde, member of the boards. We are here tonight to recognize Stratford Board of Education 2021-22 school year retirees. If you're joining us tonight, if you would come up as I praise you. James Stein, I believe, is here. Mr. Stein has been part of our Stratford community for the last 21 years. He's a dedicated math teacher at Bunnell High School. He's taught literally all content areas, from what I understand, geometry, algebra 2, college algebra, trigonometry, SAT, pre-calculus, and calculus. Mr. Stein is an integral part of the VHS math department. Students will remember him for his daily wordless puzzles just to get their brains flowing. Being an engineer, Jim has been able to bring his love of math into the classroom with real work experiences, and practical applications of concepts. Jim has been part of the National Honor Society Committee, supporting students over many years. He is currently Math Honor Society advisor and assists students in completing the New England Math League each year. This year they had 49 inductees into the Honor Society, and he will be celebrating with them tomorrow. In addition, James has been a head coach for the girls cross country for many years, having students excel at both states and college levels. Jim will leave behind his impression of daily happiness and positivity with his Bunnell faculty. From the Bunnell faculty stage, his pure love of cycling to convocation every year will also be a lasting memory. Mr. Stein will join his wife in retirement. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Stein. Lori Keogh, I believe, is not joining us, but I would like to say a few words. She has been teaching for over 37 years. She's been part of our community for the last 20 years. Her work with teaching mathematics and chemistry has impacted students throughout the years. We're also fortunate enough to have Lori serve as the union treasurer, and we thank her for her commitment to our community. According to her Bunnell colleagues, she will be best known for her sense of humor, her quick wit, and her unique perspective. And I imagine those are the attributes that contributed to her long success. So thank you, Lori. Nguyen Tranquillo is joining us tonight, I'm not sure. Okay. She's from Bunnell. She has served as an amazing social worker throughout Stratford for the last 24 years. She has worked at Early Learning Services, Chapel, Worcester, and currently she resides at Bunnell High School. Nguyen has been working directly with students and families who require emotional support, guidance, self-care, and social skills. She has a depth of knowledge, and all who work with her learn from her. According to Luann's colleagues, she is best known for telling it like it is with compassion, her outgoing personality, and making meaningful connections with students. We thank her for her commitment to our community. Best wishes enjoying your new Rhode Island home with your family. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Next up is Ms. Ford, Beth Ford. Is she joining us tonight? Oh. Okay. Ms. Ford was actually my very first grade partner, so I can go on and on about her, but we won't. I'll keep it professional. She has taught preschool, 5th grade, 6th grade. She has been a classroom teacher for over 36 years. Stratford was lucky enough to have her teach at Worcester, Eli Whitney, and Wilcoxon School. While she has taught a gamut of subjects, her love is with math. She will be forever remembered for her dedication to guide Wilcoxon students throughout countless successful productions of school plays. Her students will remember her for being funny, approachable, kind, and understanding. Beth's colleagues say that she is best known for promoting kindness and positivity in the school community and encouraging students to always do their best. To her partners, Beth is a team player who would go above and beyond for all the kids in the school. I can personally attest to that. She has, as her prior grade partner, my favorite attribute of her is her fearlessness. She never holds back. She believes anything is possible, and that was evident throughout her teaching. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Ford. Ms. Lynn Wilcoxon. She's there. Oh, dear. Okay. Ms. Lynn Wilcoxon. They're all impressive. She's completing her 35th year in Stratford, and she taught in Lordship, Nichols, Stratford Academy. She was an ALPS teacher. She was an assistant principal. She currently resides at Eli Whitney in 5th grade. Within these years, Lynn has also served as curriculum developer in central office. She is best known for taking on school-wide projects for Veterans Day and Memorial Day every year. She's organized assemblies, Veterans Day, and invited veterans in to reach Eli Whitney students. She also spearheaded Operation Poppy Committee, which is where every student makes a poppy and places it on the front lawn of Eli Whitney along with American flags. She also displayed banners in the front lawn and reference to the story Flanders Fields. This year there will be 3,500 poppies at the Eli Whitney front lawn. Lynn spent an extraordinary amount of hours ordering materials and arranging schedules. These two projects have become Eli Whitney's traditions. Ms. Wilcoxon will have more time to spend with her wonderful husband Al and her two lovely daughters, Megan and Kate. Best of luck enjoying her new vacation home in Florida and traveling across country. And Marianne Baker, also known as Mimi. Ms. Baker worked in Stratford as a health teacher for over 14 years, teaching health at Stratford High School. Previously, she taught in Milford. Her colleagues reported what an amazing contribution she has covering such difficult topics throughout the year. She is best known for using humor, facts, validation, love, and straight talk to enhance her teaching. In addition, Mimi has contributed to Stratford High School's Drama Society production, from helping with makeup to hair, stepping on stage for a talent show, or the role of guest speller in the recent production of the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. It takes a special person to literally teach health to every student at Stratford High School. Congratulations, Ms. Baker. Thank you.
Thank you to SEA. Just like to take a moment to say thank you on behalf of the Stratford Public Schools to all of our colleagues who will be enjoying retirement. Your devotion, your commitment, particularly in these most recent years that have proven to be quite a challenge, definitely is appreciated. I'm here in 35 years, I'm here in 34 years, this is 3+ decades, and all the children that we're blessed to have you as teachers certainly are the benefactors. So thank you, and please enjoy retirement, a much-deserved retirement. I'd like to take a quick moment to recognize, I know he's not here today. On Wednesday, we were fortunate to be able to recognize the 2023 Stratford Public Schools Teacher of the Year, who is Band Director at Bunnell High School, Mr. Jim Miller. It was quite impressive. Again, thank you to board members who were there. Thank you to all the colleagues. His family was there as well, but there was about 300 or 400 people in that gym, and we had a chance to surprise Mr. Miller. For those of you who know Mr. Miller, he has been a public educator for about 39 years, almost 4 decades. Please clap that up. Specifically here at Stratford Public Schools, 36 years. And I had a chance to meet Mr. Miller this year. But when I had a chance to read his bio, and I saw how accomplished this individual is, and how many thousands of kids he's had the opportunity to work with, and how much of a national, quote-unquote, coaching tree he has, it makes sense why he's so deserving of this. 17 state championships, 4 national championships, 36 years, and just countless accolades after accolades, and students who are spread out across the United States of America. He is a unicorn. So please clap it up for him. Mr. Miller represents the best of us, and he will now move on to the state level, where he will compete for State Teacher of the Year. Again, it's with great pride that we recognize Mr. Jim Miller as this year's 2023 Stratford Teacher of the Year. I'd like to call up Board of Education Chair, Mr. Andrew Cochran.
Okay, we are going to recess briefly for a reception out in the atrium. Please join us out there for some snacks. And we will reconvene in about 20 minutes at about 8:45. We do not have any public speakers this evening, and so we will start off with our administrative executive report. Dr. Sunday.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have too much. Just like to really, again, extend appreciation to all of our honorees today, our families for coming out. It's just an amazing, amazing time of the year where we get a chance and opportunity to celebrate kids and staff. So just quickly, from my executive report, I just want to touch on a couple key points over the last month. On May 11th, the town approved their budget, appropriating 2.5% to the Board of Education. Since that time, I've been working with my leadership team to go through multiple different scenarios, which we will forward to the Board of Education. I plan on doing that tomorrow morning. Okay, so by tomorrow morning, you'll have our recommendations on your desk. Secondly, just want to give a quick shout out to the Best Luncheon. Earlier in this month, out there in Stratford High School atrium, students and friends of the program were recognized. It was an amazing day. Again, appreciation to all the board members who were present. I do want to bring some level of attention to this. Earlier this month, I was notified by Dr. Paul, the principal at Vicky Soto, that she will be retiring this year. On behalf of the Stratford Public Schools, I'd like to express our gratitude for her years of service. If you know Dr. Paul, she's been with the district in an administrative role since 2011. I believe starting first at Chapel and then ultimately since 2015 at Vicky Soto. Another point of celebration, Dr. Brian Frazier was recently appointed as the principal at Nathan Hale Arts Magnet School in New London. He'll begin that position in July 1st. And again, it's always good to see our people moving on and moving on up. So congratulations to Dr. Frazier. I have to take a point here to make a note and really extend appreciation to our administrators. Teacher Appreciation Week this year was done in a way that I haven't seen in all the districts that I have been part of. Very, very impressed with the opportunities, the events that were provided to our staff. We're looking to find every way we can to celebrate our educators. They work incredibly hard, particularly this time of the year. As we look to close the year, things get a little active. Also, the Day of Hope and Healing was the second annual event, which was another outstanding event. So again, congratulations and appreciation to that committee, the planning committee, that did an excellent job of really galvanizing the whole community around that unique day. I want to take a quick moment. Earlier, you heard me recognize Jim Miller, but about 2 weeks ago, I happened to have the privilege to join our 2021 and 2022 Teacher of the Year in Hartford, which is just a tremendous event. As I've said before, those individuals represent the best of us, and we're hoping that one of these years, Stratford honoree will win it for the state. I do want to give a special shout out to Kristen Record, who just did an amazing job out there in Hartford. She has a key role in that committee, and she took the time to come out and do everything but give us a hug. It was just tremendous to see a familiar face. So again, thank you, Ms. Record. I want to touch on one point. I made a reference last Wednesday night on the SAT performance. We plan to make that data presentation to the board at some point, perhaps not in June, but maybe when we return. We have some opportunities there that I think we can take advantage of as we continue to look for academic performance improvements. So again, a shout out to our students who enrolled in the program, who demonstrated performance, and all the kids across all of our high schools who engaged in this rigorous standardized test. And that is it for the Superintendent's Executive Report.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Mr. Henner.
So recently, I believe at Stratford High, there was an attempted stabbing. I know we've talked quite a bit about discipline in the schools, and just concerned that these incidents continue to escalate, and what kind of policies, what it is we're doing to implement new discipline. As I talk to teachers throughout the district, one of their biggest concerns is discipline in the classroom, discipline in the schools. And it just, it's been an ongoing topic of conversation in our meetings, and I'd like to know what we're doing to address those issues.
I can answer that pretty simply. The case that you are putting on the table, I don't think anybody is aware of. That has not been brought to building leaders' attention, and you standing here right now and sharing that is the first time it's touched my ears. I will say it's very, very rare that a case of such significant profile would happen in our schools and nobody know about it. So I guess my question for you is, who is your source and who's giving you this information?
I'll get you the information.
Do you have it now?
I do, and I'll get it to you at the appropriate time.
You're unwilling to share that information now?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
But I'll get clearance from the people I spoke with, and I'll forward it over to you.
Sure. So in that sense, it's hard for me to answer that question around that specific example because we have not had that case of that severity.
It's my understanding that he was arrested, but I will get you further information on it.
Please.
But discipline is an issue in the schools, and we've talked about it on numerous occasions. I had one event with a female student who brought up a significant issue to me as well. But what are we doing about discipline in the schools?
Please give me a specific example of what discipline you're referring to.
Student control within our school systems.
We have 70-some hundred kids, including out-of-district kids.
Yeah.
In our district, we have 6,800 kids.
Yeah.
If you are trying to cast an aspersion to represent the entire student body,
I am absolutely not trying to cast a dispersion to represent the entire student body.
you're giving me a generalization. So we have 13 schools, and discipline at every school looks different. If you're talking about a systemic approach to doing something like that, I would need a little bit more detail. But as right now, you're giving me a general response, and you're also using examples that are cases that none of us have heard anything about. So if you do have sources that are giving you data or information about things that are happening, what I would encourage you as a board member is to leverage the process that we discussed when you joined the board, which is to follow the chain of command and make sure you redirect that to the building principal, who might have a better and intimate knowledge of what's happening at their schools and will be better positioned to respond to some of those disciplinary issues.
Well, I'm bringing it to you because you are the head of the school.
You're right, but what I'm saying is that all the things that you're putting on the table right now are not to my knowledge.
Okay, well, I think it probably should be, but, all right, so moving on, we've also talked about vandalism in the schools, and I got the latest report from the town, which the vandalism continues. And again, what are we doing to curb the vandalism? And mostly in the bathrooms, toilets being knocked loose, sinks being knocked loose, 3 toilets used loose, urinals clogged, missing toilet seats, soap dispensers ripped off the walls. This is just the month of May, up till today's date, but I wasn't able to obtain the report from February to the beginning of May.
Going forward, Mr. Henry, can you make sure that the whole board receives these reports of vandalism so that when they are discussed at the meetings, we all have seen what?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we want to put it on the agenda as an ongoing item, and since Dr. Sunday has access to that information, he should forward it to us.
I actually do not have access to the information.
The mayor has made you accessible to the information. She's made it available to you.
When?
Probably about 3-4 months ago, she put you on the list so you could obtain this information.
I received 1 email from Public Works.
Yeah.
That was it.
Well, you have to go on and look for it or ask for it, and that's how I get it. I go on and look for it and ask for it, but.
So I wasn't aware that the mayor was making assignments for me.
She wasn't making assignments for you, but when the town gets called to the schools to repair the damage, it's done by the town's Public Works Department. And so my reason for asking is this situation continues to take place. It costs a significant amount of money to make these repairs, and we had talked about this back in February, based on the TikTok issues and the other threats and the continued vandalism, which I continue to say creates an unsafe environment for our school children, gives them a feeling of not being safe. And my answer is, how do we address this and what are we doing to deal with it? The same thing I asked back in February, and this continues to be an issue.
it's not an issue because it's not coming to my attention. I'll share with you what we did in the winter, okay? It's the same way I described it.
It hasn't come to your attention? Well, because the town has to go out and fix these things. These are reports,
As I suggested,
these
perhaps the mayor could add us all to this list and we can all see it, and then we could have a proper
but it
discussion
should be
around
the
this.
schools.
These are reports that, for whatever reason, are coming exclusively to you,
They're
right?
not coming exclusive to me. They're coming because I asked for them, because I'm following up on it. And
There's nobody else on the board,
I shouldn't be the one following up on it, because I'm not the
But
one
you
of
are.
our Board of Ed.
but you are.
But I am asking, right, because I was elected to oversee this position, and that's what I'll continue to do. But I should not be the one who has to ask for these questions.
You're asking those questions.
I am asking.
What I'm saying is you're asking these questions based on some unsubstantiated data or information that nobody else has access to.
Here's a report. All you gotta do is ask, and you can get it too.
I would happily receive the report if you would have it forwarded to my office.
I shouldn't be the one forwarding it to you. You should be the one forwarding it to me.
Mr. Henry, with all due respect, again, this is a back and forth, and we can do this all day long. Ultimately, what you're trying to do, and I understand what you're trying to do because I saw you do it on the 9th, right? You're trying to establish positionality. And what I'm trying to say is
What?
positionality. This is a back and forth that you were very well versed in what you're doing, okay? And this is not that platform. This is not.
It's about accountability.
It is about accountability.
Yeah, it is.
And I can share with you the same thing that I discussed with you in February. We had a process where I work with our principals where they cycle safety monitors through specific bathrooms on a cadence. I've already shared with you that we're short. If our teachers are teaching in classrooms and our administrators are in PPTs or working with students, there are too many people to monitor the bathrooms. You just voted down a budget that is forcing us to reduce personnel that might be able to be positioned to respond to some of those maladaptive behaviors. So you're sitting here right now putting data on the table that you've not brought up in 3 months, and I would argue that the data that you're putting on the table is completely inflamed and inaccurate, unsubstantiated. Very similar to the data that you put forth on May 9th at the town council, which is completely baseless and untrue.
None of it was
So
baseless.
if you want to sit here and have a conversation about protocol, I'm 100% on board with protocol, okay? But at the end of the day, you cannot sit here and tell me the things that I need to ask for, particularly if the people that I work with are making the claim that these behaviors not happen, at least not with the volume of what you're speaking to. We have been working incredibly hard all year. If you have privy to information that you think the other 6 members of the Board of Education need to have in their hands, because that's collectively where we're going to make a collective decision about how to respond to those things, then make sure your actions are aligned with your words. Because you voted down a budget that is forcing us to reduce positions that can now be people who can respond to some of these challenges.
Over the last 6 years, we've had a surplus. I didn't vote down a budget.
Mr. Hendrick.
And again, we're gonna have a surplus this
Mr.
year.
Hendrick, out of order, I
Summary.
think that we need to get back to the agenda. I appreciate your concerns,
Well,
perhaps.
I have another question too regarding the Alliance District.
I will respectfully, I'm not gonna get caught up in a situation here where you're trying to blindside me. If you do have these things that you want to bring up in these opportunities, in order for me and my team to be adequately prepared to respond to those things, please forward that to us ahead of time. If these are things that are not to my knowledge, I'm not going to get into this back and forth. So if you do have some questions.
My question would be in regards to the Alliance District scoring. I would appreciate if you would forward the information on how our scoring fell out according to other school districts and what the algorithms were to create that score that forced us to get into that Alliance District.
Sure. Mr. Henrik, I can provide that information. If you go to the state website, it gives you the entire calculation
I
model.
don't want to go to I'd like to get it from you in your office, sir.
I will give it to you
Thank you then.
with the same resources that the state provides everybody else. It's public knowledge.
Yeah, good.
Thank you, Mr. Hendrick. Anybody else? Okay. Moving on. Ms. Mangini, you were able to speak with us earlier this evening at the finance meeting. Anything else that you would like to add?
The only other thing that I think I want to make certain I share with the entire board is with regard to our food service management company, RFP. As you saw in my written report to you, the bid opening occurred, and I had wonderful assistance from Phil Ryan and the town hall. We opened them on April 29th. We only received 2 proposals. We've gone through the scoring committee, and thank you to Amy Wiltsey for devoting a significant amount of time on that task. Nevertheless, we did determine that we would be awarding a contract to Sodexo. The process now is really led by the state of Connecticut, so we're working with them to make certain that the contract is adhering to everything that we required in the RFP proposal. And from there, the state has to approve it, then it comes back to the board before June 30th for acceptance. But we're moving along, thank goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for Ms. Mangini? Seeing none, Assistant Superintendent's Report, Dr. Gaten.
Thank you. Good evening. This year, this time of the year, we're preparing our summer programs for our Stratford students. This year, the programs are tuition free because they're funded through a grant, and transportation is provided free of charge. At the elementary level, we have a summer learning academy for students who are currently in grades K through 6. There will be 2 sessions of a 2-week in-person learning program in the days Monday through Thursday. The first session will be July 11th through July 21st, and the second session is July 25th to August 4th. Attendance, participating students will be placed in one of the 2 sessions. Attendance for all 8 days of the session is required to maximize productivity. The Learning Academy's focus will be to provide the needed extended learning time for students. The 2-week program will give students an additional 28 hours of learning focused around foundational reading, intensive writing, writing strategies, math strategies, math fluency, social emotional learning, and hands-on experiences in STEM. The day for students will be from 8:30 in the morning to 12, and then lunch will be provided for students who wish that. At the secondary level, classes will be available for students in grades 7 through 12. Teachers, for the most part, the program is credit recovery in English, Spanish, history, science, math, physical education, civics, financial literacy, and health. We're also offering a program called Milestone C again this summer, which is an enrichment program, and it's about aviation. And this year, that program will also be offered to middle school students as well. So we're really looking forward to the summer. There's a lot of planning going on. The secondary program runs from 8 in the morning to 12, and it's offered 5 days a week. So again, transportation and tuition are free, and I highly encourage families to try to take advantage of this opportunity, because we can't guarantee that next summer that it will be tuition free and that transportation will be provided. So our counselors and our high school and middle school staff are working very hard with students to try to get them set up for this so that they can start the year off next year. If they had a little bit of difficulty this year, start the year off on a good foot. The one other program that Kevin Clemmy mentioned this evening is the 21st Century Grant Program, which provides leadership activities and support for students after school usually. And this year, as he said, we're also offering opportunities during the summer. The middle school program, as he said, is in the morning, and high school is in the afternoon. And we're really excited to involve special education students as well. And that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Gater. Any questions for Dr. Gater?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the consent agenda, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the approval of meeting minutes from April 25th, 2022, as well as this month's personnel document.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Wiltsey.
Second.
Second by Ms. Carol Fabian. Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, we will have a roll call vote since Ms. QP is virtual. Mrs. Wiltsey.
Yes.
Mrs. QP.
Yes.
Ms. Carol Fabian.
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy.
Yes.
Mrs. Bedell.
Yes.
Mr. Hendrick.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Passes 7-0. Moving on to items for action and discussion, we have 3 budget transfers that were passed on to us from the Finance Committee. I will entertain a motion to approve budget transfer number 1, which is the proposed transfer to adjust accounts in Object 111, 112 for various reasons. Further details provided in the budget transfer. Residual available balance will be moved to the salary reserve account. Total budget transfer is $113,253.97.
So moved.
Moved Moved by Mr. Henrik.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Wiltie. Roll call, any discussion, sorry, Al? No, okay, seeing none, roll call vote, Mr. Henrik?
Yes.
Mrs. Bedell?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Carol Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Cupie?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiltie?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, passes 7-0. Moving on to budget transfer number 2, I will entertain a motion to approve budget transfer number 2, which is the proposed transfer to assist the district with technology initiatives, purchase of computers to replace old failing computers, and will bring the high schools in line with each other. Funds from objects 400, 500, 600, and 730 will be used to purchase the needed items. Total budget transfer amount is $15,048.82.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Henrik, second by Mrs. Wiltie. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Mrs. Wiltie?
Yes.
Ms. Cupie?
Yes.
Ms. Carol Fabian?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Bedell?
Yes.
Mr. Henrik?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, passes 7-0. Moving on to budget transfer number 3, I will entertain a motion to approve budget transfer number 3, which is the proposed transfer to cover projected deficit in workers' compensation account. Utilize available balances from the general and auto insurance accounts. All accounts are within Object 590. Total budget transfer amount is $66,568.03.
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Bedell, second by Mrs. Wiltie. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Mr. Henrik?
Yes.
Mrs. Bedell?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Carol Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Cupie?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiltie?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, passes 7-0. Our next 3 items are from curriculum, so before we get going on those, I'm going to let Ms. Carol Fabian and Mr. Kennedy and Mrs. Cupie give us a little detail, and then we'll move on.
Okay, so the first item up is the approval of UConn ECE If You Love It, Teach It course. This is a college level course. It's highly recommended for students who are preparing for careers in education. This class is going to study K-12 teaching, learning, and schooling in the United States. There's a focus on historical, philosophical, and social foundations of education, as well as self-study to reimagine educational features. There will also be 10 hours of field study experience that could be required, and students may have the opportunity to apply for college credit with this course. It will be offered in school years with odd graduation years, as it will back up to alternate with another course along this guidelines of the Child Development Program. It came to the board with a highly favorable recommendation from the Curriculum Committee.
Great. I'm going to pause you there. So I will entertain a motion to approve the UConn ECE If You Love It, Teach It course as forwarded to the board with a favorable recommendation from curriculum.
So moved.
Moved
Second.
by Mrs. Wiltie, second by Ms. Carol Fabian. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote. Mrs. Wiltie?
Yes.
Ms. Cupie?
Yes.
Thank you. There we go. Ms. Carol Fabian?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Bedell?
Yes.
Mr. Henrik?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, passes 7-0. Thank you. Ms. Carol Fabian?
The second approval is for the Introduction to Special Education course. Again, this was forwarded with a favorable recommendation by the Curriculum Committee. This course is also a college-level course, and it is recommended for students who are preparing for careers in education, human services, psychology, family studies, social work, and health occupations. This course will focus on special education services in American education, including various exceptionalities and the roles of professionals. Students will have the opportunity to apply for college credit with this course, and again, this course will be offered on the opposite of the previous course. It's highly recommended that child development be a prerequisite to this course.
Great, thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the Introduction to Special Education course as forwarded with a favorable recommendation from the Curriculum Committee.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Wiltie,
Second.
second by Ms. Bedell. Any discussion?
Just a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
To both, will these be offered at,
Both high schools.
thank you.
Any further discussion? Yes, sir.
So I think I noticed in here that it's given every other year.
Right, they're alternating, so they don't have the teaching staff to offer both courses at the same time, so it'll be an every other year option. So you'll have to take one year, and one could be offered the following year.
So every student will have access.
Every student has access.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further? Okay, seeing no further discussion, roll call vote. Mr. Henrik?
Yes.
Ms. Bedell?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Carol Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. QB?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiltie?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, passes 7-0. Moving on, Ms. Carol Fabian.
The next proposed addition is mentor texts, which will be added to the ELA curriculum. These texts will be mentor texts that will be added to the 9th through 12th grade as resources for classroom teachers and a way to expand and let all of our students see themselves in different novels. I would just like to also note that this is also funded through the generous donation of the Victoria Soto Foundation.
Wonderful, great. I will entertain a motion to approve the Mentor Text ELA curriculum book list as forwarded with a favorable recommendation from the curriculum committee.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Wiltie,
Second.
second by Ms. Carol Fabian. Any discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
There's a fairly extensive list of books, and I haven't really had a chance to review all the books and all their contacts, so if the board's amenable, I'd like to table it and take it up the next meeting, so I can look through some of the books and their criteria, their agenda.
I think timeliness is of the essence, and
All of these books were vetted by all of our English teachers at both high schools, as well as students, as well as the entire curriculum committee. Just as a point of
I would like to
reference.
vote on it tonight. So, okay. Did I have a motion in a second now? I forgot.
Don't know if you had a
I will
motion.
call-
I'll make a
do it.
motion.
I will entertain a motion to approve the ELA curriculum book list.
So moved.
Mrs. Wiltie, second.
Second.
Ms. Carol Fabian. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote. Mrs. Wiltie,
Yes.
Ms. Cupie,
Yes.
Ms. Carol Fabian,
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy.
Did you hear?
We did. Ms. Bedell,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Until I get a chance to review them, I can't vote for it, so I'm going to have to vote no.
Okay, and chair votes yes, passes 6-1. Moving on to proposed policies for adoption. The Policy Review Committee sent us a policy regarding Narcan. Ms. Bedell or Ms. Cupie, if you could speak to that. Ms. Bedell?
Sure, let Janice jump in after. So this is a policy.
I can go if you can hear me. I have no problem.
Go ahead.
We can hear you.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So this policy, we do not currently have one in place. However, as you're all aware of, things going on across the state with, not only addiction, but just overdose and, accidents and stuff like that happening, our policy committee met and wanted to get a policy in place immediately because we've had some near scares or, I'm not sure the right term for it. This policy is also not just for our student population, but also adult staff and really anyone on our campuses during operating hours, right? Normally, traditionally, we go through a first read, second read. However, per our bylaws, as long as it's gone through an official policy committee meeting and a regular board meeting such as this, we should be able to approve it. I don't want to sit on it any longer, because part of this policy also means our staff can start getting training. And the longer we wait, the more delayed that part of the process is going to be. And this is just too crucial, I think, in my opinion, to push it out any further. So I would encourage board members to vote in favor of adoption. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Ms. Cupie. Ms. Bedell, do you have anything further to add?
I was just going to say to us that the nursing staff and Ms. Velasquez brought us this policy. It was based on a CAVE policy. It offers the opportunity for our students to be protected in the schools and adult staff that are in the schools as well. The goal is eventually to have all staff trained. We'll start off with a free training that we can get started pretty much right away from what Ms. Borges tells us. And police are already trained, so we're, you know, moving in the right direction on this issue, which is definitely plaguing the country, so.
Great, thank you so much. And I will just second again what those two said, that this has been vetted through the policy committee as well as our head nurse in the Stratford Public Schools, and I think time is of the essence to get this on the books. So I will entertain a motion to approve policy 5141.213 regarding, and I'm going to say this wrong, naloxone and Narcan.
So moved.
So by Mrs. Wiltsey, second by Mrs. Bedell. Any discussion? Okay, seeing no discussion, roll call vote. Mrs. Wiltsey?
Yes.
Ms. Carol Ms. Cupey?
Yes.
Ms. Carol Fabian?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Bedell?
Yes.
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, passes 7-0. Moving on to tabled items, does anybody have anything they'd like to take off the table?
Make a motion to take residency off the table.
By Mr. Henry,
So moved.
second by Mr. Kennedy. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay. It's off the table?
It's off the table, my
Okay.
friend.
So I had last month meeting asked for a report. We had back in, I believe February, received a report with some names and lists and case numbers. You had mentioned at the meeting after that there were 30 new cases, and I had asked for another report, an updated report, and haven't seen it yet. So,
What's your question?
where's the report?
So I can share with you, we've been tracking this number month by month, and I've been reporting out since Mr. Embro made his initial presentation.
I can't hear you. You have to speak up a little.
Yeah. So we've been tracking, we've been doing this work month by month, and at every board meeting since Mr. Embro made his initial presentation, I've been reporting out numbers for cases that we've closed, for families that we've disenrolled, right? And I've come to this board and I've presented those numbers. For the month of May, we have had 7 disenrollments, a total of 10 cases with 3 appeals. I spoke to 2 families last week. Now, I will also share that I spoke with this board, and I did share with this board that we changed the process, right? The accountability process internally. And the process that we have right now has a couple spreadsheets that we work with. As you know, I have a cadence where I meet with Mr. Embro every week. But the spreadsheets that we have detailed information, personal information for juveniles as well as for families, okay? Now, my hesitation to put that information into your hands, in contrast to me standing up here and every month presenting aggregate data on the enrollments, the disenrollments, is for a couple of different reasons. And I would say that this is potentially affirmed based on some of the things that I saw over the last month. So for a couple of different reasons, you're asking for a report to have personal information on it, and I'm
There's
still
no
not.
personal information on this report.
And I've told you that's an antiquated report, right? But I'm still, you have not shared with me what your motivation is for why you want those individual reports. Now, I will say this, as I've continued to report out every month and give aggregated numbers, we've been doing some good work around this and disenrolling families who we have concluded do not, no longer reside in the town of Stratford. And as I just shared for the month of May, through 3 weeks, with about 1 more week left, we have had 7 disenrollments, 3 appeals. But I know you sent the email requesting a report, and despite the fact that I told you we changed the process, you continue to ask for that report, against the fact that I'm providing data that is indicating to the full board and to the public that we're making progress around this work as it's been deemed by the board and the town. I will also share with you, beyond the fact that the document has confidential private information, you heard the board chair make a reference, I believe last month, maybe 2 months ago, about some community members who have taken this upon themselves and the liability that's incurred with that. I will also now share that, on May 9th, when I saw you stand up at the public forum, and you went through a series of things, a lot of them were inaccurate or unsubstantiated data. but there was one specific thing that really stood out in my memory because I was sitting two benches.
Are we gonna rehash this now, or?
No, I'm giving you an answer for why you don't have a report. This is not a rehash. I mean, you can talk about a rehash if you weren't there, but you were there, and these things came out of your mouth, right? You said as part of your public forum, even though you were not there in the capacity of a board member, you said that we need to aggressively go after those who do not belong, right? Those were your exact words. That's a hard quote, right?
Absolutely.
You're 100% right. That you said that.
And I will say that again.
Okay. Now, the problem though is this, is I've been very clear with this revamp process, that we will disenroll families that we conclude do not live in our community. But I said we're going to do these things with decorum, and we're going to do this with a level of dignity, right? Because from your lens, or whoever else is on the outside, we're making these residency checks based on suspicion. Based on suspicion. It's an anonymous call. It's somebody said something, and we're required to look into it. There's a point of privilege associated with that. And in the circumstance that we're wrong, right, we infringe on the civil liberties of families who are taxpayers who live here, right? So we do have to follow this process with some level, right, of tact to make sure we maintain the dignity of families. The second piece now, based on your words, and again, this goes back to, you know, what is your motivation behind trying to get this document in your hands, and what is the purpose for which you're trying to use this for? I will say this, okay? You've seen the enrollment reports. 7 out of every 10 kids that are in our school come from families of color. And whether you know the history of this word or the phrase or not, you should learn it now. For families of color, when they hear the phrase, "you do not belong here," it invokes historical trauma. So when I now say...
That's pure nonsense. That's pure nonsense. And the nonsense you used the other day when you said fearmonger was a racist word is nonsense as well. The reason why I want this report...
You said fearmonger was a racist word. I never said it was a racist word.
Why don't we tell him why you want the report, and then we can...
The reason why I want this report is because an elected official of the Board of Ed, I'm entitled to this report and I'm entitled to this information. And part of our duties is to evaluate what you're doing.
You're not entitled to personal information.
I'm not asking for
part of
personal
my
information.
duty is to give you
There's
aggregate
no personal
data.
information here, and you can redact that.
And I've told you we don't use that instrument.
This is an official FOI request that I'm looking for the names of all the reported cases of non-resident students.
But that is personal information.
That is personal information.
There's a case number.
What I'm sharing with you, Mr. Henrik, is that report no longer exists.
It's an FOI request that I'm looking for.
What I'm sharing with you, Mr. Henrik, is the report that you have in your hands no longer exists.
It's an FOI report.
The report that we have right now
looking for the case
has
numbers?
personal information of students, which you are not entitled to FOI.
And you can provide that in executive session. But this report doesn't have that, and you can redact that information and turn it over to the board so we can monitor the progress.
That is not our job to monitor. Our job is to he just told us there are 10.
This is part of the decorum of, as a board member, stepping out of your lane and understanding your responsibility. By yourself, Mr. Henrik.
FOI request.
By yourself, Mr. Henrik, with all due respect, you don't have the authority to make that claim. And I cannot put personal information of families, including addresses.
I'm not asking for personal information.
Including addresses or names of students.
Case numbers. I'm asking for case numbers. I'm asking for the date it was open. I'm asking for the case status. I'm asking for the investigation type. I'm asking for the reporting school. I'm asking for the observations, the documentation, and the narrative. And that's all information that's available to you and can be made available to this board. And through an FOI request, that is the information I'm requesting.
The problem for me is that once we have the identifying school and certain details like that, it becomes not that challenging, especially since you seem to have a habit of talking to staff members at different schools.
An FOI request.
It becomes not that challenging to figure out exactly who.
An FOI
it really is. There's how many kids in each school? It's very difficult to figure out who they are.
So again,
we're entitled to that information.
So again, I will go back to this notion that it is unclear to certainly me as the superintendent of schools and the general public what your motivations are behind this. And again, I would say, based on some of the things that you have uttered in the past, right, whether they're based on lies or untruths, or whether based on different hidden agendas, that you are very publicly engaging in behavior that can unintentionally create liabilities and infringe on the civil liberties of our families, specifically families of color.
And it's our job also to evaluate your progress, and this is one way to do it, and this is one of our issues.
Okay, duly noted, thank you. I think we have your feelings on this. I hear that Ms. Cupie has something to add.
And I am requesting this as an official FOI request.
Thank you, Mr.
To get the information.
Ms. Cupie?
Oh, thank you. I guess I was trying to understand the purpose of that much detail for this update, because if Dr. Sunday each month is giving us a number, if we individually want to quote unquote track, right, we should be writing that down or, asking about that the next month. I don't know that, at least for me, I don't need a case number. Like, I'm not an investigator. I don't see the purpose of that information.
Thank you. Dr. Sunday, may I ask 2 questions? If we disenroll a student, does the district then recognize a savings of, say, $18,000 automatically?
No, it certainly is not the case. So I think we all have a good sense that the budget's passed every fall. Every spring, right? And once the budget is passed, the per pupil expenditure is pretty much locked in. Now, districts are, particularly transient districts, are fluid processes where kids come and go. There's no way to really compute, the transactional savings, if you want to call it that, of students. Once the budget is appropriated, and this year it's $123.2 million, inherently, I think the speculation by Mr. Henrik and maybe a few people in his camp is that there's going to be a lot of savings. But with the MBR, once that's budgeted, it's locked in and it's divided by every child that comes into our district. So once the MBR is locked in, i.e. a budget is adopted, and in this case we're looking at 123, if we have an additional 100 kids who move into our district, it still fits into that 123 from a computational standpoint. If we have 150 kids move out of the district, then the per pupil expenditure is just simple computational math. So there is no real-time savings, so to speak, but in the long run, if there are specific kids who join the district or leave a district that have very specific and unique expenses, such as kids with exceptionalities, in those cases you can find some savings.
Thank you.
Some of those significant.
As noted. Thank you. Any further discussion on this?
I'd just like to add, with all due respect, residency has been an issue in this town. It has been an issue in discussion with the board for a couple of years or longer now, and I understand why you're pushing for the information. If we could get maybe the number of cases that are active versus the number that are disenrolled, as opposed to just the disenrollment, perhaps that would help to alleviate some of the...
Yeah, no, I can share that. I can assure you that since I've been here, since I took over this process, that I've probably disenrolled more people than have been disenrolled over the last couple of years. I can say that with some level of confidence. And I think Mr. Henry can agree with that because he's already commended the work. What I will, again, I will say this very publicly, I will not put personal information of families or students in the hands of reports.
I've never asked for that.
Not asking for that, just
numbers.
Just numbers. Just numbers.
3 numbers.
3 numbers.
This type of report, that's what I'm asking for.
That report doesn't exist anymore.
Well, you can recreate it, it's not complicated.
3 numbers.
I think with all your,
Super. Any further discussion on
not
that?
a complicated report to create.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Shall we entertain a motion to put residency back on the table?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Wiltsey,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Bedell. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, aye. Would anybody like to take anything else off of the table? Okay. Super. Moving on to committee assignments and reports. There are 2 committee assignments this month. We will be assigning Mr. Pete Carroll to school plan planning am convening a renaming a facility committee. We will be following policy, and something will be posted regarding the exact members of that committee, but it involves the board chair, the superintendent, the building administrator, a building teacher, 2 community members, a building parent. Is that it, Teresa? Did I get it? All right. And so I will keep you all posted on that. So I will entertain a motion to approve the committee assignments.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Carol Fabian.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Wiltie. Any discussion?
So Pete Carroll is being named to school planning.
Yes, sir.
Pardon?
Yes, sir.
I didn't hear his name mentioned, so did I miss that? Or?
You just heard it mentioned, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
There was one member who had originally been appointed who was not able to be a part of the committee, and I'm thrilled that Mr. Carroll is willing to join us because he brings a wealth of knowledge to the table.
So we should vote on these individually then?
If you'd like to, I'm happy to do that.
There's only one to vote on.
But I think typically we vote on them as a roster. So
Well,
I'm happy to split it up for you, Mr.
Okay.
Henrik. Let's do it. I'll entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Mr. Pete Carroll to the School Planning Committee.
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Wiltie.
Second.
Second by Ms. Carol Fabian. Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Mrs. Wiltie.
Yes.
Ms. Cupie.
Yes.
Ms. Carol Fabian.
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy. Ms. Bedell.
Yes.
Mr. Henrik.
yes.
Chair votes yes, passes 7-0, and I will entertain a motion to approve the renaming a facility committee.
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Wiltie.
Second.
Second by Ms. Carol Fabian. Any discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
So what facility are we looking to rename?
We are discussing renaming the English wing here at Stratford High School. There is a very specific policy regarding this. The first step is convening this committee. You have to submit, I think, 10 letters of recommendation and so on and so forth. And then eventually, once the committee does its work, it will be brought before the board to vote.
And so then, in the interim, can you forward us that policy?
Yeah, you bet. Teresa, can we forward that to the board tomorrow?
Is that part of our school policy? I don't remember seeing it.
It's on the website.
It's in the board policies?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But if we could get that, that would be fabulous. Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Mr. Henrik.
Yes.
Ms. Bedell.
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy.
Yes.
Ms. Carol Fabian.
Yes.
Ms. Cupie.
Yes.
Mrs. Wiltie.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Passes 7-0. Moving on to committee reports. Ms. Carol Fabian, I feel like we got a lot out of you already. Would you like to report out on curriculum May 10th?
So on our May 10th meeting, we had presentations on the UConn ECE If You Love It Teach It course that we passed this evening. We also had a presentation on the Introduction to Special Education course, which we passed this evening. The mentor text that will be added to the ELA curriculum for 9 through 12, which we passed this evening. And then lastly, we had a presentation and an adoption of opening the ability for the middle school social studies curriculum to be revisited and rewritten.
Super excited. Which was that?
The middle school social studies.
Great, thank you. Mr. Kennedy, anything to add? Ms. Cupie, anything to add to that?
I was not in attendance.
Oh,
so
well, fine. All right. So nothing to add. All right. Thank you. Moving on, Finance Committee met earlier this evening. Mrs. Wiltsey.
We did right before this meeting, and be honest, we have a lot of work ahead of us with the town's budget, so stay tuned for more information with that. I'd like to take a minute to praise Dr. Clemmy, who not only articulates the intricacies of all of our grants, but goes after looking for some new opportunities where funding is not provided to us. We can still increase impact and provide opportunities for our children. So thank you, Dr. Clemmy. We will reconvene as a Finance Committee June 28th at 6:30 p.m.
Great, thank you. School Planning Committee met May 11th. Ms. Cupie.
Yes, thank you. We had a presentation by our Director of Pupil Services, Heather Borges, who went over our special ed programs, all of them in great detail, giving us an update on the current state of each program, where they are housed, really just all the resources that encompass, each program requires. And then we discussed sort of her vision / Stratford Public Schools vision for each program and the resources that each would require in order to achieve that. And, very, very impressive presentation. And, as a next step, she invited us to, visit some of the programs at different schools. So we're trying to coordinate that effort. We also discussed the pre-K program, some of the recent changes that took place or that's going to be going into effect in the new school year. We also talked about the pending or potential change by the state for universal pre-K and what that would look like for our district. So, just based on data that she has, whether it's like 800 students, right, would be eligible to do pre-K in our town, which is amazing. So just, talking through these things and kind of getting information so that we can start planning and preparing for when those changes come our way and how we would, adapt to them. So thank you, Ms. Borges, for that presentation.
Awesome. Thanks, Ms. Kupi. Mr. Hendrick, anything to add?
I think that covered it.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. The Town Liaison Committee, Mr. Hendrick.
So we met, Dr. Sunday had scheduled a town hall meeting on the same night as the previously scheduled liaison meeting. So we didn't have any board, any administrative representation. But it was a good meeting. We had some discussions about some of the issues that are coming up. Residency is always a huge issue, both on this side and to the council members. Where we're going with the budget. We talked about schools. We talked about the planning, some of our hopes and directions there, the possible need. I mean, based on the Snyder report, the issues at flood, most significantly flood, and how we, if need be, realign some of the schools and redistrict some of those issues. So it was a good meeting. It was intended to be an open discussion between the Board of Ed administration, the Board of Ed members, and the town council. So hopefully we can continue that relationship and continue that meeting. So
You bet. Super. Thank you. Policy review did not meet, but you guys have so much exciting work to do.
We did sneak a
Oh,
It was short and sweet.
It was a good one.
that's right.
It was a good one.
There we go. Okay.
We did sneak a meeting in there to go into, specifically into the narcan policy.
Spectacular. Thank you for all of your work. And athletic review, Mr. Kennedy, I know you're working on some stuff too. All right. Good stuff. Other committees, Janice, do you have anything to share from CABE?
Sure. So as many of you, all of you probably know, the executive director at CABE, Bob Rader, announced his retirement, and they formed a search committee to find a replacement executive director. That search committee moved towards an internal search, and you'd be happy to know that Patrice McCarthy will be the new executive director. I know how much many of us are, familiar with her work and familiar just with her in general when it comes to questions. So congratulations to Patrice. I think it's a wonderful decision.
Great. That's exciting news.
That's good news.
I was unable to attend CES this month due to a conflict in my schedule. And did Stratford High renovation building needs meet this month?
I didn't attend if they did.
Ms. QP?
I was not able to attend.
All right. Well, thank you. And then Ms. QP, before we adjourn, did you have something that you wanted to share?
I did, and thank you for this opportunity. I know a couple of times it came up in this meeting regarding May 9th, and I had my daughter's concert I had to attend, so I wasn't in person at the meeting, but I was able to watch, and it was really extremely disheartening to watch what happened that day. And while, we each as board members have a right to speak as private citizens outside of our board meetings, it is important that once the board has acted on an issue, such as, we voted 6-1 in support of our budget, that each member of the board support that action. And I'm not just saying this as an opinion, because this is also entrenched in our bylaws under 9005, point number 11, and I quote, "Support all decisions by the board to the community once a decision has been reached." Like, we have to learn to work together. The time to dispute anything is at these meetings, and once we've decided on something, we do have to get it together and work together, because we have a lot of work ahead of us, and it's going to really take collaboration and teamwork to get that work done. So I really just wanted to put that out there, and thank you for the opportunity to say that.
Thank you much.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
So one of our other bylaws states that no member of the board will give up its, basically says, no member of the board will give up its independent thinking to any board or entity. And as an elected official and member, as a taxpaying citizen, as an elected official, elected to represent the town, the taxpayers, the administration, the staff, I will never give up my independent thinking or my voice.
Glad to hear it. I'm going to get up on my soapbox and say that I hope that we all remember that we are working for the kids. We're working to give them the best experience that they can in our schools, in this town. And so I hope that we, never lose sight of that fact. Seeing no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 9:45.
So moved.
So moved by Mrs.
Second.
Wilkie, second by Mr. Hendrick. All in favor?
Aye.
See you guys June 28th.